It's a battle of 2-in-1s in Death Valley. The only problem is one of them is favored by 23 points. Hello and welcome inside the Citrus TV studios for this web edition of Cuse Countdown ahead of Syracuse football's matchup with LSU. Alongside JD Raucci and Tim Leonard, I'm Noah Eagle, and JD didn't get the memo for the blue tie.
Listen, guys, blue is a sad color. Syracuse, a win last week against Central Michigan. I'm trying to bring a little color and a little life into the Citrus TV studios.
That was just a bold strategy, JD. I like my blue tie, though. These polka dots, I think they're pretty sweet. What do you guys think?
They're all right.
Pretty solid. The blue tie works. I'm not feeling you. Before you two break this one down and take a look at each of these two teams through the first 3 games, let's take a look right now. 2-1 Syracuse, 2-1 LSU, and yeah, you guessed it. The series overall, 2-1 in favor of the Tigers. Now, both teams with powerful offenses. However, LSU struggled on that side of the football last week. Only 7 points for the Tigers in the loss to Mississippi State. For Syracuse, majority of the Orange's offense comes through the air. Guys, how can SU get the running game going in this one?
Well, it starts with the offensive line, though. I mean, last week when the offensive line got a good push up front, O'Neal broke out for some big runs, and Syracuse is going to need that against LSU for sure.
Yeah, Tim, I think it starts with the offensive line, but also the passing game. If they can get it to the outside, kind of go downfield, that's going to open up some lanes up the middle for the Syracuse running backs. O'Neal, Dante Strickland, think they could have a big week if the passing game helps them out.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of the running game, you might remember Leonard Fournette putting the SU defense to shame 2 years ago, 244 yards for the new Jacksonville Jaguar. But the Tigers have a new tailback that might be just as good. That's Derrius Guice, last year's Citrus Bowl MVP. Now, Guice will not play in the game on Saturday. How do you guys think that'll affect this one?
Well, I think it takes away the big play, Noah. Last season, Derrius Guice averaged over 8 yards a carry. That is absolutely absurd for a running back. He's excellent at getting into open space, making guys miss. So it's going to have to be the passing offense that opens up those big plays for LSU, and they haven't shown them they can do that so far this season, Tim.
Yeah, JD, we're talking about a guy that was a Heisman hopeful to start the season. So definitely a huge miss and really a lucky break for Syracuse.
One of the best running backs in the nation. So as I mentioned earlier, LSU favored by more than 20 points. It is time for some keys to the game. How do you guys think that the Orange can keep this one close?
Well, Noah, I don't think they can keep it close, to be completely honest with you. And with the ACC schedule coming, my key to the game, just stay healthy. Jamal Custis is already hurt, Tim. So is Antoine Cordy. And obviously, we know Eric Dungey has had some serious problems with concussions in the past. LSU is going to come. They're fast. They're athletic. They're going to hit you hard. So stay out of the way of injuries and try to stay healthy going into conference play.
You said it, JD. It's going to be tough to keep it close. The only way I see Syracuse keeping this close is if they get the offense clicking early. That's huge because LSU is going to come in hungry after the loss last week to Mississippi State. They have something to prove also in Death Valley. You know it's going to be rocking. That Syracuse has to set the tempo early and hopefully silence that crowd a little bit.
And JD, as you mentioned, I'm sure many Syracuse fans are hoping Eric Dungey can play this entire game and stay on the field. So we've heard what Syracuse needs to do. Tim, can they actually do it?
I don't think so, Noah. I've got Syracuse losing this one 38-14. It's just so tough to win in Death Valley, JD. I mean, LSU is just such a dominant force, and then you look at the speed on the defensive side of the ball. Syracuse has not played a defense like this all year, so I think they're going to run into a buzzsaw, and it's going to be a long night for SU.
Yeah, Tim, I agree with you. My prediction, 42-17, the win for the LSU Tigers, and really it comes down to the talent level that LSU has on both sides of the ball. It's just far superior to what Syracuse has, and you mentioned Death Valley, a huge home field advantage for LSU. 48 straight wins in non-conference home games for the Tigers. That's absolutely absurd, Noah.
And JD, you were going with all the optimism before. Now you just decide, pessimistic.
Well, it's LSU. I'm going to have to be a pessimist in this one.
Fair enough. That's all we have for you on this webisode of Cuse Countdown. Don't forget to check us out on CitrusTV.com and Citrus TV Sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Game is 7 o'clock Saturday. Orange Press Pass follows at midnight. For JD Raucci and Tim Leonard and the rest of our Cuse Countdown crew, I'm Noah Eagle saying so long and enjoy the game.